Welcome everyone to Transport Fever. Now Transport Fever 2 is due for release very soon, so I thought what better way to get ourselves prepared for that release than by playing Transport Fever. Actually, I've never played Transport Fever. I just purchased it today. It's on sale through the Steam platform for I believe $7. So it is a steal right now that I could not pass up any longer. I've spent quite a bit of time in the predecessor to Transport Fever called Train Fever. So I have an idea of the mechanics and what we're trying to do. So this is going to make it a lot of fun for me. A brand new experience in Transport Fever, which will lead right into a brand new experience in Transport Fever 2 in a little bit over a month. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get started on a free game. Let's go ahead and click there. We're going to do USA, since that's where I live. We could also do custom. There are some nice options in there. We'll start off on a small world. It is entirely possible and very likely that I'm going to mess a lot of things up just trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. So we'll probably be loading previous saves and or starting brand new maps. So the size of the map is probably not going to be that big of an issue for us. So we'll start out on small. We'll leave it at medium, although it's very tempting to go with flat to save ourselves some expenses of having to blast our way through mountains. Start year, we'll go ahead and start at the very beginning. Obviously, this is going to limit our access to certain types of equipment. We're going to be using horse-drawn buggies, for example, instead of high-speed rail. So it's going to limit us at the very beginning, but I think that adds something to the fun of the game. So 1850 is our starting date. We're going to do easy difficulty because there's no telling how many mistakes I'm going to make, and I need all the help I can get. Now this game also has very extensive mod support, but I've only downloaded one mod, and that is a developer mod, so straight from the developers of the game, and it adds the ability to put in curved railway stations. So we're going to see how that works out, but other than that, no mods. It is strictly vanilla. So I think we've got all of our options taken care of. Let's go ahead and get started. Now that we've spawned in, let's just take a look at the size of our small map. Let's see how many cities we've got, take a look at the industry, and so on. First things first, I've got the game paused so that no time is passing. We certainly want to spend all the time we can trying to make some money. So we've got, I see Bakersfield here, Kansas City, so there's 2, 3 with San Antonio, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it looks like a small map gives us 7 cities. You can see some mountainous areas there. We definitely don't want to try to tunnel through there, but it looks like there should be ways around most, if not all of this. And of course, you can see the waterway running right down in through the map, going through San Antonio, Tallahassee, and looks like those are the only 2 there. All right, plus we've got a lot of different industries. Here you can see a quarry where we get the rock. Let's see what's over here. Oh, this is a farm. Then we've got an iron mine and so on. So the way the game works is we're going to be transporting goods, whether they're raw materials or finished products, and we can also transfer passengers around the city. So we've got a lot of different information available. Let's go ahead and bring up a list of the towns. And we're going to go ahead and sort those by largest to smallest. Looks like Vallejo is 266 at the most. Tallahassee 119 at the bottom. Bakersfield right here sort of in between. Then let's see, what about Kansas City over here? Okay, it's next to the largest. So my plan is to get started on passenger transport. Of course, the year is 1850, so we're going to be starting off with horse-drawn carriages, so we can't get too excited about this. Not just yet, but as time passes, of course, technology improves, and we'll be able to have better and better means of communication. So we're going to get started with passenger transport, and then I'll take a little bit of a look offline at some of the different areas that we might be able to connect up for some industrial work and getting goods and services up and flowing. But for right now, we're going to focus in, and let's just go ahead and start at Kansas City. It's the second largest city, and let's just see what we've got. So we're going to want to start out by putting bus stops out, and as time progresses, we'll move on from horse-drawn carriages to motorized travel. So I'm seeing a few routes that I want to do here at the very beginning. I want to do one that runs the length here. That'll be one route. I like another route going down through here like this. And the reason is, what we're going to do is we're going to connect passengers from residential areas. You can see a lot of residential type buildings down here. And I'm sure on the outskirts, you're going to see a lot of that as we move around. Yeah, so a lot of residential. And we're going to want to get them moved to both in industry, which you can see here in these areas. And we're also going to want to move them toward the center of town to commercial. So basically, we take them from home to work or home to shopping. Those are our options. So the center of town is going to be very important for us all in this area. Looks like we've got some residents living there. But yeah, in the center, commercial. Then we've got a couple of areas it looks like for industry. So let's go ahead and start laying out some of the basics here. Let's start with a tram stop. And we're going to put one here. Two. Want to always put one in the center here. Let's see, that's 3, that's 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side of the road, basically mirroring what we've already got here for the most part, because we're going to be able to use these for multiple lines. So we're just laying out some basics right now. So if we scroll out a little bit, you can see there's the basics of our network. And we can also put, each time we set up a route, we can have as many vehicles on that route as we need. The key is going to be the travel time. If the travel time is too long, then the passengers simply won't get on board and we'll be losing quite a bit of money. So let's go ahead and set up our very first line. This might actually be too long. We'll just have to see. We can adjust things as time goes on. Let's go ahead and do our first line. We're going to move some things out of the way. All right, so first one is, I tell you, let's see. Yeah, that'll be fine. We'll just go ahead and start it down here. Once they get up and running, it won't really make any difference. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll come down the other side of the street as well. And we'll put multiple vehicles on this road. Yeah, this might be too many stops overall, but again, we'll see. I usually like to do 6 to 8 stops, so we've got twice that many on this one, so I may break it down into a north section and a south section. But we'll get started off with this line, and we'll call it Main, since this is basically the main street, and we'll call it NS for north-south. So that way it'll tell us which direction it's flowing. All right, now we need to go east-west with our first line. Oh, and I skipped ahead a little bit. We need to come back out and put some more tram stops. All right, so we're going to go 1, 2, again, trying to keep one very close to the center. 3, 4, 5, 6. So then 7, 8, and 9 there. Okay, not bad. Okay, now let's do our second line. All right, so we'll do 1, 2, 3. Make sure I don't miss any. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then finally 9. So you can see our route very straightforward on both of these. So that one's got 9, so just a bit more than I would prefer, but overall, I don't think that's too bad. All right, let's go ahead and lay out a third line. Let's see. We want to go, oops, not road line. We're not ready for that yet. Jumping ahead of myself. All right, so let's go 1, 2. Then we'll have 3. And I see some industrial over here. Yeah, there's some industrial. And this is commercial. Okay, that might work out. Again, I fully expect to make a bunch of changes here. All right, so let's go ahead, turn this on. So the route goes 2, 3, 4, then 5, and 6. So this will be a short route, shorter anyway, and it'll collect folks from this area. And the good news is, I think that will be okay, but again, time will tell if that's okay. Let's see, where else might we want one going? Let's see, we've got residential over here, right? Yes, all of this is residential. So let's go ahead and drop a few more over here, and we'll make this probably our last route. All right, so 1, 2, 3, and then 4. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I think that'll be okay. All right, so we've got most of the areas covered. Looks like we need a little bit more help over here, a little bit of help over here. But for right now, let's just go ahead and get started with that. And then we'll rename some of these roads as time goes on, most likely. I wanted to make sure I got the main street labeled first and foremost. So before we can get busy picking up any passengers, we're going to need to get some vehicles on the road. So let's go ahead and I guess drop this guy. This is probably the best spot for him. We use the M and the N keys to move things around. Boy, this is really sketchy here trying to get this thing. There we go. That's a little bit better. Finally, we were able to get that thing down. Okay, so let's buy some vehicles. We're going to start out buying 2 for each line. So we'll work our way down for those. Always fun to buy some new equipment. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And so then we'll start assigning lines to these. So line 1 for you. Line 2 for you. And 3. And then finally our main. All right, as I do that, you can see the frequency here. That is certainly not going to get the job done. So we're going to go ahead and buy some more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll see if that gets us anywhere. And again, we'll just assign these guys to a route. And that way we'll have 2 on each route, at least here at the beginning. We'll just see how it works. All right, so 2 on main. And there you can see we're down to 4 minutes, 3 minutes. I like the 75 seconds a lot more. But right now we got plenty of money. We started with $3 million. We're at 2.84. I plan on paying back some of this loan because we got a huge loan that's going to be a lot of loan interest for us. We're going to start out very small here. I'm in no rush to expand this thing and use all of the $3 million. So we're going to try to just get out of debt here pretty quick and just take it really slow and see what works and see what doesn't. All right, so already I can tell I'm going to want a couple more to get these frequencies down. So let's get 2 more. All right, so this guy's going to go on main, and that'll get that down a little bit. It'll only take it down to 3 minutes. So not terribly happy with that. We may have to adjust that route. That may be what we end up doing there. Okay, let's see. Which route is this going to be? This is going to be on line 1. So that'll take us down to around 2 minutes for that one. All right, so let's get started a little bit here. First things first, as I mentioned, we're going to repay some of this loan. The loan interest will kill us early on since we're only starting very small in one city. So we'll go repay. There we go. That's not bad. That repaid half the loan. Gets us down to 1.3 million. I tell you what, let's just go ahead a little bit lower than that. Yeah, let's get the loan down even lower. Takes us down to 816,000. But again, we don't have anything expensive running right now. So I think we're going to be okay. So as we get our time started, a few things to look at. Now you can see, of course, all of the horse-drawn carriages are jumping out here. It'll take a little while before passengers will start showing up, assuming our routes are any good. So it'll take a little while before that happens. But what we're going to look at in the top right-hand corner under the line manager is our profit, our balance for this particular line. And we'll keep a track on our frequency and so on. We'll just see how this thing works out. I've already got it in my head that this main north and south is probably going to be cut into 2. That is probably going to happen pretty quickly here, but we'll just give it a minute and let it run. Again, 800,000 in the bank. We're starting off very small, so I don't think money is going to be an issue. Let's keep track of, you see a lot of people walking around, and for right now, our horse-drawn carriages aren't much faster than the people can walk. You see there's some upgrades being done and new buildings coming in. All right, we're looking for our first passenger. I don't think we've actually gotten one yet that showed up. We are on maximum time scale, which is 4x. And, oh, I think we just had one. I heard the beep. Yeah, I can see the passenger icon showing up in a few places. Let's go ahead and back out a little bit. And I would estimate that our most popular areas are going to be getting off right here in the center of town. So we'll see. We'll hear there's some more passengers here. That's, oh, residential building, a lot of residents there. Yeah, there's some nice residential area here that should give us some income. But again, it's going to take a little while for this to work itself out. All right, let's see. I am itching to get going on splitting this one. I'm already thinking it's all I can think about at this point, even as we are very early trying to get things up and running and find out what is working. All right, now we're seeing more of the passenger icons pop up around the map, so that's good news for us. Okay, a little bit better here, 130 seconds. And you can see that's fluctuating a little bit now. But we're under 100 seconds here. I like the 60 seconds, 74, 83. None of that is very bad, all things considered. But what I don't like is the direction this money is going. What I want it to do is work its way back toward break even, and then we'll take it from there. So far, when we look at the numbers, actually our best route is the one that I'm talking about splitting. So it's working out the best so far. Okay, not bad. I'm liking the sound. I can hear the ding as we pick up passenger, and as income comes in, there's $248 there. So you can start to see we've got a couple of routes, line 1 and then our main route. Both of these seem to be headed back toward break even. However, line 3. All right, line 3's only got 4 stops. That could probably be better. I tell you what we could do. We could extend this out a little bit. Now, in fact, I think that's what we want to do. Let's go ahead and pause this for a moment. And it is our biggest issue because it's going in the negative very quickly. All right, so let's go ahead and add onto this one. So we're going to keep first and second stop right here. Let's go ahead and extend that up to there. 3, 4, 5, and 6. That should be good. That'll take us from some residential over here all the way up into the heart of town. And I think that's going to be good. That'll give us 6 total stops. All right, now let's get things going back again. And we are getting very close to break even. There you see briefly into the profit on our main route. So now we'll keep a close eye. Let's take a look at line number 2. Okay, this one's sort of out of the way. And I was afraid this might happen on this one. It's not terrible right now, but it's certainly not where we want it to be. So let's see, how can we help this out? So we're serving, looks like a lot of industrial stuff over here. Then we've got more industrial there. Commercial over in this area. And we've got, wow, more commercial. Okay, so we need to get some people, some more people from residential over to this area. What do we have here? There's more industry up there. Wow. Okay. So let's see how we can make this better. We may have to end up getting rid of this route altogether, which is perfectly fine with me. We'll do whatever ends up working. But here you can see we're nearing 5K. We're over 5K with this line. So what we want to do is try to duplicate this success the best we can. And you see this route working very well. And I believe that's going to be because we've got residential, and then of course here in the center, we know we've got commercial. So this is serving a large amount of residential folks over here on this side. Already you can see some expansion happening of the town. Okay, not bad. Slowly line 3 seems to be getting a little bit better. It looks like it might still need a little bit of work, but overall, not terrible. All right, so line 2 is the one we're going to have to change. We need to incorporate some residential somewhere. So we know we've got residential here. And we've got residential down here. Okay, so maybe... Wow, this is going to be a tough one. I think I'm going to do a route. Let's just add a new route here. I think I can do this with what we've already got out here. So I think we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and then 8. I think that will work out okay. So a little bit of overlap you can see with the main. And the biggest reason for that is there's a lot of residential down here, and I want to make sure we tap into that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a couple of road vehicles up and moving. So 1 and 2. And we want this to be on line 4. And same thing for you. Let's see what kind of time we're looking at here. Ooh, 4 minutes. Probably not all that great for that. In fact, let's just go ahead and let's buy another one. Try to get that time down some more. This might backfire badly on me, but now we've got it down to a little bit more respectable level. Not quite to the 2 minutes or under that I would prefer. but not the end of the world either. All right, so now we need, I feel like we have a growing area that's going to continue to expand out here of residential. So it looks like we've got commercial starting in some of this area a little bit, and of course industrial there. So let's go ahead and drop down. We're going to do that. Let's see, do we need any more? We'll go ahead and put one on the other side of the road. Okay, I think that's going to be all I want to do. Let's find out. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then where's my nearest one here? 6, 7, and 8. So again, a little bit bigger than I would prefer maybe, but overall not too bad. So we'll start to serve this area. And the good thing for us is that these guys will hop off. All of these passengers will hop off and use multiple lines. So the main thing, we just want to make sure we're serving as much of the residential area as we can. So let's go ahead and buy a couple more vehicles. And so we want line 5, since that's our brand new one. And then we'll see how the times work on it. So far, we're down to 3 minutes. We'll see how that works. In the meantime, let's see. Line 4, of course, is just getting started. It is headed the wrong direction. We'll give it a little bit to see how that's working. We've got a lot of commercial and industry over here that we're not serving. More industrial, yeah. All right, trying to keep an eye on these lines, and actually it looks like we are starting to hurt. This main is starting to lose money. It was doing pretty good. Now you can see the money's starting to head backwards a little bit. We'll see if that continues. Line 4, we're going to keep a close eye on. But our most profitable one is the one I was trying to get rid of from the very beginning. How about that? Shows you what I know about logistics and about the logic in this game. So then line 1 is our other profitable line, and it's running east and west here. In fact, let's just go ahead and rename this. Let's do main and then east-west. EW for that. All right, so line 4 and line 2 are the ones that worry me right now. I'm thinking about getting rid of line 2. It's been in place quite a while now. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's see, let's get rid of a few things here. Yeah, this small one. Let's go ahead and, let's see. Let's move this out of the way. We'll just use this one. So send all vehicles to the depot, and then once we do that, we will delete this line. So what we're going to do now is actually, let's try to improve our existing profitable ventures here. Let's go ahead and do that. So we want main, east, west. So this may end up hurting their profitability. We might have reached a peak there, but we'll just keep an eye on it and find out. We'll keep an eye on our frequency and just see how this is going to work. And we'll just narrow down into the lines that are working versus the ones that are not. All right, let's zoom in here a little bit. And let's just get an idea of the graphics here. So that, again, this looks very familiar to me to Train Fever, which was the original game in this series. and is several years old by this point. Yeah, this is very similar to that. Let's spin it around here. You can see passengers coming in and out of the area. Hopefully more and more of them start stopping at our bus stops. That would be quite nice if that's the way it went. But right now we seem to have sort of maxed out on what we can get. Let's do a route. Let's do one through here. We got a lot of industry, some commercial down through there. Let's go ahead and get back to our top-down view so we can see a little bit better. Line 4 has not worked out. It is getting very close to me just deciding to get rid of it. But for right now, let's go ahead and start a new line and see if we can't get some more money being made over here. All right, do we have any stops right here? No, we do not. So we'll go there, there, and right there. And then we'll do the same thing on this side of the road. Already got one there. Okay, this one might be able to pick up some passengers that drop off here and take them over to the various industries in this area. All right, so line 4 right now, just not doing good. We've got 3 extra vehicles there. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. I'm thinking that's probably our best bet. What I may do is do one more that goes sort of around like that. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. So let's go ahead and bring up line 4. And let's send all of them to the depot, which will just get them out of the way basically for right now. And then delete that line. Okay. Now we want to do a new line that runs... let's see, how do we want to do this? Let's start there and just run it all the way down. There we go. That'll give us 8 stops, but that should be a helpful idea because I believe we're getting a lot of people here. So I guess we'll find out here shortly. All right, so now let's put these guys on line 1. At least a couple of them. And let's see what type of times. It says 3 minutes right there. We'll see if that changes. But right now, okay, we're starting to grow on our 2 profitable lines. So I like that. I don't like this 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and drop this one on there and see if this really helps out. Okay, 102. That is a much better number. So you can see our profitable numbers right now for frequency are in the 60 to 80 range. So that's sort of my goal. Anything less than 100 seconds is kind of what I'm shooting for. I hesitate to expand this one a whole lot since it is not profitable, but it's getting there. It is staying very close to profitability, so we'll see how it goes. Line 1 is my new biggest concern. We want to see if it's working out and is ultimately profitable for us, but we'll have to do that when we pick up next time. For now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Transport Fever.